All right, guys, welcome to another shoutcast for NGS. We got ourselves 2+2 versus salty snacks. Hopefully, you got yourself some snacks, and if they are salty, you got yourself a drink to go alongside of it. We're gonna start things off on Volskaya Foundry. We have a pretty fast bank coming out from salty snacks with the Abathur, followed up by a garage band as well, and the Abathur is an interesting ban. Like, I don't know if this is targeted. Uh, Abathur is seeing a lot more play, especially on maps like this, where you can basically solo support with the right team comp. Basically, the lanes are large enough, the distance far enough that you can just kind of heal up through the regen build that Abathur has, which becomes very annoying to deal with because you're facing a team that essentially has free healing every 3 seconds as he keeps switching targets to heal up. And then on top of that, you have his global presence, being able to soak the lanes during the objectives, which tend to last a lot longer than some of the other ones. And on top of that, you have you essentially have a team comp that's very different now. You have 3 damage dealers with Abathur, who himself can provide damage, which means you can clone and get yourself, essentially 4 damage dealers on the table, 4 assassins instead of a typical like setup where you have support who's not really dishing out too much damage comparison. So we're immediately going to see Malfurion and Medivh come out from 2+2. This is really spicy. Well, for starters, they've essentially taken one of the supports, which now means that Salty Snacks has to decide whether or not they want to get the Stukov. Additionally, this means they have to figure out like do they try and deal with Medivh's ability to disengage from fights and engage onto them with fights. Like how do you deal with that? And so right now they have Phoenix and Stukov as the immediate pickups coming out pretty quick on the trigger there. They've gotten themselves what you can call almost like this OP draft comparison because, well, for one, those two were banned for a very long time and almost seen as a joke if you let through in draft because you see teams just get ran over during that. Now, to be fair, they have nerfed both of those heroes. So we'll see if the Medivh Malfurion will be able to overcome the combo of Phoenix and Mayev. Now, they have already banned out the Sonya. They're now going to look to ban out the Diablo here, side of Salty Snacks. What else? The ban on Diablo is okay. They're trying to choke out the tanks, and there's a good amount of places to wallbang and get Apox off during the objective. So it's a solid ban. I mean, there's obviously a lot of tanks you can ban. They've already taken able though the support ban since they picked up Malf and Medivh, so you can't ban out either of those at this point. And that still leaves them with plenty of options for tanks. They have ETCS available, Johanna who's available, who's seeing a lot more play now. Johanna, just because people, I believe, are realizing like the power of her sustainability in a team fight. Plus, her wave clear is the best of any tank. So although she doesn't have quite the same level of peel as some of the other tanks and some of the giant playmaking or flashy playmaking skills, she's still very solid. And it helps because they picked up Medivh for 2+2. So if you're going to have someone play Medivh and a Malfurion, both who are very, very bad at wave clear, Johanna helps make up for that. A lot of teams fail to do this kind of thing. They don't pick up enough wave clear. And what's super spicy is we got Samuro here now too. So I think they're looking for that grouped up protect on the Samuro, and that's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out because he's able to get around the map, he's able to lane decently, he's able to do the camps on his own, and the final pickups are Nub and Blaze. So Blaze will be that solo lane. I'm assuming Samuro will be in this solo as well, while the rest will be rotating as a 4-man unit. The Anub is also interesting because they can dive pretty hard now and take out Malfurion from the team fight. So if they opt for the Twilight Dream, we take it out of the equation altogether. They can also take out the Medivh if they have enough burst, because they could burst through damage that Malfurion could potentially heal, while Medivh will negate any burst. So it really depends on how they're going to try and play this out. And honestly, with a Cocoon, you're trying to kill someone for that, which means you're not looking for a long drawn out fight, although Stukov will be able to deal with a long drawn out fight. The draft from Salty Snacks is definitely a lot more traditional than you'd say 2+2's draft is. But I think there's a lot of merit for the draft that 2+2 has created. It's unconventional, but a lot of times, when you break the meta, you've created a new meta, and people will recognize that this works, and they'll start using it themselves. So let's introduce the two teams we got here. We got Infrared on the Phoenix. We got Rossi on that Dukov. We got Blaze TDB on the Anub Arak. We got Chips on the Blaze, Energy on the Maev, and that is Salty Snacks. For 2+2, we got McNulty on the Johanna, Axon on that Hanzo, Retor on Malfurion, Reb on the Samuro, and for the Medivh, we got Flyest Raven, a very appropriate person to be playing that, as he is now playing the Crow or Raven. Personally, I want to see Medivh to have his own kind of spray. Instead of a spray, he gets to make a sound effect, and he can spam Kakal over and over again. I think that would be amazing. Now, it would quickly get annoying, but it'd be fantastic. Now, we got a nice attempt from Blaze to try and disrupt the rotation there. They're off to a little bit of an early start in terms of winning the rotation war. In the bottom, we are going to have the Samuro actually rotating down. Now, they're not going to be doing too much here. Maev dropping the pull, but Johanna is a great counter to that, since she can just walk away with that Iron Skin, something I failed to actually mention. So looking at what we got here, I'll pull this all up. We have Hold Your Ground. This is a very atypical pick, I'd say, by most like pick rates. It's really good if you actually can get value out of it, and I think they can, because by reducing the cooldown of Iron Skin, it's a lot less opportunity for Maev to pull Johanna, which means that there's significantly less playmaking ability. Now, in a sustained fight, this is going to be generally they've done the math, and they have to really focus McNulty to get value out of it. But aside from that, he'll be able to get value from preventing all the stuns and CP on him. Now, other talents, we got Way of the Wind coming on out, no stacking talent there, Shando's Clarity. We have a Window's Celerity. We got the Simple Geometry, other side Adrenaline, Snip Hack, the Rubian Armor, the Advanced Targeting, Bonds of Justice, Growing Infestation, and now we're again in the pickups here. We got the Vengeful Roots, which Vengeful Roots is surprisingly a lot of damage if teams don't pay attention to it, and if they pick it up, and if they start stacking it appropriately. I really like this from Salty Snacks. They're actually picking up their turret really early because they're winning the rotation war. What you'll see a lot of teams fail to do is actually pick up merc camps when they have the advantage. They don't exploit what they're good at, and in this case, what they're good at is wave clear. They win the wave clear battle between the two teams. We got McNulty poking down that tower as best as he can, softening it up, trying to get themselves more of an XP lead. But yeah, getting that camp when you've already asserted dominance in the lane is really, really good, because now you can start the objective. You don't need to rotate over to get your camps, and you're now ready to go. In the meantime, however, this tower has taken a brutal beating. In the top lane, they've actually traded it out as well. So both sides have gotten pretty good value, and even the XP is highly even. So, both teams knowing how to play this game clearly and knowing how to rotate clear waves. There goes the Mayev with the pull, and nothing on that for McNulty to worry about. Reb, however, in the back is going to be getting away, and he is perfectly fine for now. As he is down there, he flipped on out, had to go tap, but getting a little bit dangerous there. There's the engage onto McNulty. He got his Iron Skin out. It's going to pop. There's a protected as well. He's still up. He's still up. They're still looking for the kill. He's really low, and he will be able to stand tall and, show Salty Snacks true justice that maybe you shouldn't have salty snacks. Maybe sugary snacks are the way to go. So both sides have gotten, well, at this point, Salty Snacks has gotten control back. They've poked down 2+2 very heavily, but 2+2 has gotten so much control of this point at this stage that they can really just reset the fight. Mayev going in really deep, able to pop up. There's the pull into the silence. Hanzo taking a lot of damage. Reb having to back out, but Hanzo will be the first to fall. McNulty now running for his life. He's running the opposite way of his base. So he should be able to get out. Flyest Raven should be able to give a protect and maybe even a portal. Phoenix, however, is not going to let him walk away. One more. Infrared fails to confirm the kill. 100 HP. I don't know if that was on purpose, misclicking or what, but they still managed to pick that up. A nice job on the side of Salty Snacks being able to come back from the 92% deficit or 90% or so deficit. And well, now they can get themselves a big lead here. They got themselves one kill. They're going to open up the mid. They're going to probably rotate up to the top and open that up even further. However, the Protector has taken a lot of damage. In the bot lane, we still have Blaze fighting Reb, and not too much to talk about there. In the meantime, they're trying to poke down the Protector as best as they can. They get the portal over to help defend. They don't actually take down the full tower set over there. They only take one tower. They've taken down another tower here, but this Protector is getting poked down really well from the side of 2+2. Now, they're focusing down, trying to get that well, which is going to really set him up potentially for another objective. But Rossi is getting chased around here as he has no one to help him, and they take him down. Rossi running around in circles, hoping for the best, and no one on his team leaving the Protector or coming on back to really help him. Now, Salty Snacks and 2+2 are almost dead even right now on XP. Reb just like really being annoying, popping on in, getting off some damage, popping the clones, then coming back into the lane in the meantime. So 2+2 also taking advantage of knowing the position of where everyone is, in part thanks to the combination of Hanzo's arrow, seeing a nub in the midpoint, getting that kill. There's a silence coming on out. Not going to be too big a deal as they can still portal on out. And taking a look at the taunts, we got the full geometry build coming on out here. Got a rotation coming out from Salty Snacks, but it's going to be spotted out. And Hanzo just hops on over that wall and away he goes. In the meantime, we got Red picking up the camp. Like I said, once you get a wave push in and you're sitting there waiting for waves, you need to do something useful with your time. If you lose a minion, it's not the end of the world. It's better though that you're actually optimizing your time by, picking up a camp than sitting in a lane and doing absolutely nothing. So taking a look at the rest that we have here, we have the Blessed Shield that has come out. We have the Illusion Master, we got Tranquility, we got the Polybomb, and we got the Dragon's Arrow. Pretty much all to be expected. Polybomb is one of those things where it definitely makes sense so they can focus down Mayev or take out Phoenix before he can port out. They've both picked up their Sage camps almost exactly at the same time. Like, these teams are really in sync in terms of what they need to be doing. There's very minimal wasting of time. They're always using their time to do something and do something productive. And there they go, looking for potentially a gank. They're not going to get it. There goes Mayev. She can't get the pull. And there's the Iron Skin coming out. In the meantime, Blaze, though, taking quite a bit of damage, having to back on out. Does try to flank around, but it's not really going to do too much. So we also have the Burning Blade coming. We got the Mirage. There's a nice stun combo onto Axe, and he's going to be pulled on in, and that is going to be the second kill of the game. This time, it's going to be, well, it's both kills have now come onto Hanzo. If they can land the CC train on Hanzo, he's done for. He's kaput. And, well, I guess he won't see much redemption because he's not getting much kills. He's instead feeding kills over to Salty Snacks. So one other thing that's interesting is they chose Samuro into the advanced targeting. I mean, Phoenix is going to get a lot of value out of that talent, and it just seems a little a little bit of a foolhardy choice to give them that opportunity. So other heroics, we got the bunker, we got the cocoon, we got the planet cracker coming out. Oh boy, we got the warden's cage and flailing swipe. Planet cracker seems like a super meme talent, but the warden's cage can set them up for a really nice one. There goes Mav setting out up the blank back over. McNulty going to be getting out of there fine. There's the dragon's arrow, 4-man, but no follow-up whatsoever. This is still right now in control of, or 2+2 has control of this, and once they all get here, they could potentially regain control of the point. Chips is out on an island right now. There is McNulty pulling on and using that blessed shield, really harassing the front line over there. There goes the planet cracker into the warden's cage, and then we are going to see absolutely no kills. The cocoon has come out onto Medivh. They now have the opportunity to blow someone up, but nothing happens in the meantime. Cocoon comes on out. There is the Q damage from Phoenix. Flying around. McNulty is a little bit low. He'll be able to port on out. He backs on in and comes back out. Okay, so popping in, popping out. We got the flip from Reb. So he's just harassing him right now. They do lose control of the point, and they'll have to be resetting this fight at this stage of the game. We also have the one good spread. We have the virulent reaction. So we should be looking for, you know, those big root plays from the Stukov. We also have mid getting shoved in right now. You know, a nice job from 2+2. Like I said, optimizing what they're doing. They already have 88% of this point. So what you do is get camps, you get yourself some lane pressure, and then you just reset the situation. Look how long it takes for them to, you know, actually even this up. While the enemy team is basically sitting there waiting for you to come back. You go and do other things on the map. You won't see this out of your Hero League matches almost ever. And you won't see this in probably a lot of Division A games even. It's one of those things that it just takes a lot of discipline in learning what you need to do in order to really optimize to this level. So 2+2 taking control of the point once again. There goes McNulty into there. A nub has burrowed on in. They're growing on in. The ice block, perfect timing. There goes the tranquility. Bunker has been dropped. The silence though doing so much. The polymorph capturing too. The planet cracker doing pretty much just meme quality plays there. And the cocoon has been used on Medivh. It won't be good enough. They're not able to secure any kill. The flailing swipe has come out. They are sitting on that point trying to win the overtime race. 99 versus 98. And there is Chips really low. McNulty popping that iron skin again. Super healthy for the most part over here. Axion just poking away in the back. Phoenix trying to get the stacks, trying to dish damage. McNulty though is getting really low right now. They managed to capture the kill on Chips, confirming it. There is the root on Blaze. TDB, he's going to be going down here very shortly. Energy next up potentially. Phoenix going on down. Rossi going to be going, and a full team wipe. Beautifully done from 2+2. They obviously have done the math here, and in this case, it's a little bit of a rounding error. It's 2+2 equals 5 because they get themselves a full 5-man wipe. Beautifully done from 2+2. So now you're going to see Reb is just going to go and walk around the map, soaking the lane simultaneously, able to come on in if he needs to because he has Illusion Master. Not fully microwing, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world because they're so far ahead now. That team fight plus this protector has netted them 16. They're looking to get themselves 17 at this point, which means they might actually hit 20 before they manage to hit 16 on the side of Salty Snacks, because they can keep getting more structures, more XP. You can see 15 has rolled around. And at this point, they're going to have to be really scared. They can take any fight they want on the side of 2+2. So looking at what we got here, we got the Holy Fury, we got the Imposing Presence coming on out, which gives Johanna a lot more control. I feel a lot of people undervalue Imposing Presence on Johanna for whatever reason. Sure, they're not their team has a Maeve and a Phoenix who do decent auto attacks. So Imposing Present is a great pickup here. They managed to pick up the bottom 4. They prep for the next objective simultaneously. They're on their way to 18, but they won't be able to actually fight much here before 16 is picked up on the side of Salty Snack. So I may have overstated getting to 21st, but they have a very big lead. So they do need to be cautious. McNulty very, very far out. His team may have to rotate down, but Blaze misses the stun. Unstoppable has been used from that Iron Skin, and away McNulty walks. So now they can pick up their camps, they can clear up this camp, and they can then put additional pressure onto the top keep and wall. They can pick up the support camp, which they should pick up the siege camp, in my opinion, first, because they can push out this lane, and then it's really, really safe to take the support camp. Right now it isn't fully safe. You can actually see they're looking for the fight at this point, and there they go, Iron Skin being popped, energy unable to do anything. So if Salted Snacks had rotated up 5 seconds earlier, they may have actually been able to engage in that situation, but they didn't. And because they didn't, it was perfectly fine. But I feel to another optimization 2+2 could do, pick up the siege camp and then get that pushing up top, so they have to respond to it, and then you can take the support camp. What they're opting for here is absolutely fine, because they didn't actually do what I suggested just now. Instead, they're going to hold this camp, wait for the C objective to pop, and then force Salted Snacks to go and take care of the top lane. And if they don't take care of the top lane, it'll push on in their very top keep all, getting significant damage. So 20 is around the corner right now for 2+2. 2+2 really has a lot going for them. I mean, they're half a level to 20. There's 2.5 level. McNulty coming on in, hot and ready for some action. Are we going to see the Blessed Shield? They're not fully ready to engage here. They're looking for the 21st. It was a little risky. They could have fought that, but it's a little risky to fight pre-20 at this point. Just take your advantage and just keep running with it. At this point, they should or could just push bottom, because they know what's going to happen. They're going to rotate on up to deal with that, and then you go and push bottom for free. You can get onto this wall and start prepping it. And it looks like they're opting not to do anything with this, or sorry, with the siege. They're going to actually let it continue pushing. And Reb is up here, like he can port on down at any point, because he has the Illusion Master and he has the innate ability to do so. So it lasts significantly longer. And as you can see, he's ported on down. They come on up to try and deal with him, and he's gone. So he's basically got a global presence with Nasamuro at that point. So there's the turret. They got themselves 3 turrets. Sorry, they got themselves 4 turrets ready to use here. I miscounted that, and I didn't actually pay attention to how many turrets they had been holding at that point. They have so many turrets, there's no way for Salted Snacks to come on in and contest this. All you do is spread out the turrets around here, and the enemy team is going to be pretty much butchered. Like, even if your team fight is wonky and you don't look good, you will have all the turrets doing all the damages. So we got in the flank coming on out. There's the port on out. There is Axon jumping on over. McDulty's still there in the backline. Reb is just a clone right now. And they're not going to really get anything out of that. So they engage. No big deal. We have a clone down here sitting on the point. There's a flip. Reb doing an excellent job on the Samuro, I gotta say. Between all the lane soaking, flipping back and forth, really just being a pain for Salted Snacks to deal with. So we missed some of the other ones. We got Instructable out. We got the Reblade style coming on out. And we got Serenity, Arcane Brilliance. We got the Perfect Agility. And there is potentially the Death March. Like, if they can pick off one person, this could be game, because they have the 20s. We also had Press the Attack come on out. We had the Nature's Balance, Stable Portal, the Piercing Arrows, Shikuchi, the Ice Block, the Circle of Protection, and the Ninja Assassin over there. On the other side, we had the Suppress Fire, the Thermal Protection, Epicenter, Acid Trench, Mandibles, Artillery Shields, Arsenal, Armored Assault, Shadow Armor, Viral Entry Action, and the Universal Carrier. So they are actually trying to end this. They're trying to press their advantage right now. There comes a Polymorph right before the Cocoon comes out. Cocoon is on Medivh, but Chindamare, Ice Block holding on out. There comes the Planet Cracker, not going to do anything really. And there is so much damage onto Energy that is, well, pretty much the end of him. And Blaze TDB going to be next up on the list. And 2+2, making this game look as simple as that. I mean, salted snacks are going to have to upgrade to maybe Twinkies because 2+2's draft absolutely worked perfectly and was played perfectly by them. Really nice job from 2+2. So sit on tight. We'll get ready for game number 2. And if you've been enjoying the cast, hit follow and show up to some more casts that I do. And thank you so much, Crow, for that host during the actual game. And I hope your shoutcast went well. And thank you so much for making the co-cast overlays that people have started to use. So looking at some of this damage, Hanzo busting out 48k. Then we got 33. Medivh coming in second there for 2+2, 31k. Even Johanna up there, 29k, out DPSing a Phoenix. Boys, we're living in another world right now where Johanna is out DPSing Phoenix. So some other numbers for you guys. Stukov busting out some big time healing. Medivh getting himself 10.4k and 50k from Malfurion. So really nice job from 2+2. I did say there was a lot of merit with their draft, and that sometimes the odd draft is going to define metas too. And they played that very, very well and really excellent, I gotta say. So sit on tight for game number 2 and get hyped.